And we're back. And we're sick. Yeah. We got the Disney pox. Yeah. We've got a lot of stuff to edit, so it's gonna take a few days, I think.
It'll probably take us a while to record our final day.
Mm-hmm.
But once we do, we will update you on our Day of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And you'll see that probably right after this.
Mm-hmm.
This is emergency.
Mm-hmm. This is just tea. Do you think we got the Rona?
Feels like it.
Well, it was worth it. Yes, we're back. We are back. We're back. We've been
Back a while.
We've been back for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we would have loved to have filmed our Magic Kingdom wrap-up the night of, but it was midnight when the party ended.
We were very tired that night.
We were exhausted, and then we had to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, we needed to get ready for the evacuation.
Yeah, they're like, get out, we have another family paying. So we had to leave there, and then when we got back...
They actually didn't do anything. We didn't really know if anyone was even expecting us to leave earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no rush, at least. It didn't seem...
It was a joke, because Disney said, get out, we don't have your money anymore.
I know, but it would have been interesting, but no, that didn't happen.
No. No. But the House of Mouse was still like, you didn't pay, you have to go.
Yes.
And then from there, we had some stuff to do, but we got sick.
Yes, I think that we'll get to it. But through the day of Magic Kingdom, it was probably our worst weather day.
Yeah,
it was very, very hot in the morning, and we assumed it would sort of continue in some way, but then it just stormed.
Yeah.
Through the day until like the evening, around 7 p.m. it stopped.
Yeah.
But we were completely soaked. I went in my skimpy pirate outfit, and it was just my underwear was drenched.
I tried to tell him. He says, "No, I'm gonna slut." So let's go ahead and have some drinks, slut, and let's talk about Magic Kingdom Day.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom.
Hurry.
Sorry, I have no nails.
Yeah. Cheers. So Bernardo, we are like 2 weeks removed from Magic Kingdom Day.
Yeah.
From Disney World in general.
From the not so scary Halloween party. Also.
Yes. And so we've had 2 weeks to digest it and forget it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I'm not sure where you are on that spectrum here. I made some notes while I was sick. It was a very long sickness. It might have been COVID.
Yeah, it lasted a week, and we had all the symptoms of the newest brand of COVID.
Yeah. Worth it. What do you remember?
Well, what do I remember? I remember we started quite early, and we went to Steakhouse 71.
Yeah, so we took a monorail over to the Contemporary Resort.
That took a while, honestly. It was kind of annoying.
Well, the first part wasn't that bad. It was just immediate.
Yeah, true.
It was the way back that apparently was a nightmare. We'll get to that as well. But
yeah, we were a little late. I think that because my sickness was starting to kick in already.
Yeah.
That final day, I felt a little bit iffy. And we were a little late, and we arrived we had to move our reservation a little bit further back.
Sort of. I think we just kind of called them.
Yeah, and it was fine. Well, let's see. And yeah, we had some really, really great breakfast at Steakhouse 71. It was fantastic. It was, I had a... Eggs Benedict. Yes, thank you.
Sorry.
For letting me tell my story.
Want to go over?
I know that you got the Floridian Eggs Benedict.
Yes.
And yeah, it was good. It It was a very handsome waiter.
Not ours though.
Not ours.
But we saw him. We found him. I went to the bathroom and Bernardo was like, there was a hot boy.
No.
He serves food here.
It wasn't like that.
It was a little bit like that.
It was a bit like that. But anyway, after that, I think that we already had our fast pass for...
Yeah. I scored us all the virtual queue stuff for the trip. So we got onto Cosmic Rewind, as we said. We also got into Tron Light Cycle Run twice.
Yeah, so in the morning we had the Light Cycle Run, and we were also a little bit concerned about that time.
Wait, 1 second. Let's rewind a little bit, though. So it was at the Contemporary Resort, which I remember I mentioned before was a hotel that I kind of admired from afar.
Yeah.
And I kind of always wanted to stay in, partially because I thought it was cool how it goes inside. The monorail goes inside of the hotel itself, which that was a really cool thing. It's like open.
Yeah.
And I thought the hotel rooms looked kind of cool.
Yes.
But what did you think once we were there? And also, your first time on the monorail.
Yes, it was my first. I always wanted to get into the monorail. It's a train. I thought it would be smoother or something.
Yeah, no, it's old.
It's old.
It's a big part of the Disney experience. So
yeah, it is a cute way around, but it wasn't. I don't know. When I was younger, it just looked like the future, you know. And just getting into it and being like, oh, it's a metro. It's a metro. It's fine.
Yeah.
And the Contemporary itself, I think that initially it did look very kind of impressive and imposing, but once you get in, you find out where kind of practicality meets like coolness.
Sure.
And so there's like a lot of like weird metal bars like blocking your way into the hotel.
Yeah.
And that looks sort of like a concert, not fancy. It just looks a bit like a mall or like a food court.
Right.
And the rooms have their doors into the main hallway of the hotel. It kind of reminded me of Drop Dead Gorgeous, where all the beauty queens are blowing.
Yeah.
I'm throwing up through out of the balcony.
Right by the airport. Oh my God.
Oh, Amber, we'll be staying overnight at the airport. Howard Johnson. Right by the airport. Oh,
Yes, the Howard Johnson's by the airport.
Yeah.
Stylish to the stars. Anyway.
Oh, you're cute. Catch us in your mouth and I'll give you a present.
It kind of reminded me of that. Very, I don't know, 90s, 80s. Weird. Not contemporary. Kind of retro now. But it's a nice place. It was just not really what I expected either.
Bernardo's like sort of a designer. And so I thought that like a decent amount of appreciation for him could be at like seeing the different resorts, because they are all very distinctly different, which I think is a really cool thing about Disney World.
Yeah, it is. That's a cool idea. And just in general, I think that theming is what sets Disney apart from anything else. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. It has that bit of a like a Epcot feel. Like it's a contemporary from the 90s. So
yeah, I think even from the 80s, really.
Yeah, sure. It's like, of course, maybe from what the 80s thought would be the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's been updated since. But like you can't change the skeleton of the thing, right?
Yeah. And like, for example, they're going back into after our breakfast, we had to go back into the monorail because complications, of course. It was difficult to get directly back into Magic Kingdom, so you have to go back and forth. And you had to go through security before you get into the train. So there was a special room where you would go in, and since we had all the recording equipment and stuff, we always got stopped.
Yeah.
We always got randomly checked.
Honestly, I hate to be this kind of person, but sometimes I felt like I got searched just for being brown.
The very first time was a bit strange, yeah.
Because even then, like I remember one of the guys told me like, hey, one of the reasons you're getting searched is because of like your glasses case and your neck fan. And so he told me just take it out and hold it in front of you and they'll know. And I did that and they were still like, no, go.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, thanks. There's nothing in my bag.
I mean, I think I personally had a lot of things with me, so I suppose it's unavoidable. But there were a few times that I didn't get checked, so who knows?
That's what I mean. It felt like racism a little bit.
Anyway, that took too long, and that kind of also gives me the same idea of like the way that they designed this hotel probably was so that people would just like walk into the monorail, like, wow, that's so cool. But the functionality, they need to do those checkups and stuff, and so.
After 9/11, I think 9/11 ruined like airports, but it also ruined Disney.
But I imagine it would have been before that as well, because they need to check the entrance to the hotel, to the parks. So they at least need to get your.
Maybe I wonder if they moved the ticket past is a thing.
Might be,
because the thing is, honestly, you have to go past security. It drops you off still before the tickets.
Yeah. Before
you get ticketed in.
Yeah.
Is like the place that it drops you off after is a security checkpoint at Magic Kingdom. So
but even when you go out of the train, there's those bars that are kind of like directing you, sort of like, no, don't go over there. You have to go over here to get into the hotel. It was a lot of like those typical like concert bars that they put like to block your like fans away,
like the barricades.
The barricade kind of thing. It's
no, I know.
Not pretty. Anyway, it's too much conversation for this.
It is interesting to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I find this fascinating because I do remember specifically there being a moment before 9/11 when I was a kid. I used to go to Disneyland a lot. Like I said, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Grew up next to Disneyland, 20 minutes away, where you kind of just walked into the park. Like you got off the tram and you just walked into the gate and you showed your ticket and you just got scanned in.
Right.
And it was great. It was like after 9/11
but like
they started doing like TSA shit.
The getting out of the train would not matter. There's no security there.
That's what I mean. You had to have security beforehand. I imagine like you
yeah, no, but like that part is just there without need for security. When you get out of the train into the hotel, there's no security. You just have to get out.
Because you already been searched before to get.
Yeah, exactly. But even there, they had those barricades, and that was strange. It looked ugly. It looked like out of place for the hotel, and it looked like they placed them on top of the architecture that was there that allowed you to walk around, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure it's possible to like prevent people from like especially like little kids from running into the monorail.
That's what I mean. That like the functionality kind of meets the design and they clash a bit.
I'm sure.
They could have been designed, at least if it was like more of a futuristic kind of bar, like or glass or something more elegant that meshed with the style.
Ooh, let's get Disney. Let's get Bernardo on the Imagineers. Honestly, you'd probably be like, listen up, bitches.
No,
I'm cracking down on this this ISO right now.
I mean, when I was in university, we did a lot of basically what you consider theming.
Yeah.
You know. After that, we did have to. It was also very confusing because when we got back into the monorail to get back into Magic Kingdom, we went in one direction, and the guy in the Contemporary told us like, "Oh no, take this one in one direction and then take it back."
Well, he said like come out, go around, and take the other train forward.
Back. Yeah,
to get back.
Yeah, but when we got to the station and we asked the person, and it was like, "No, just stay here for 3 more stations." And we ended up doing that, staying there instead.
Yeah, and it seemed like
which I guess goes around. It doesn't really matter. One would be a bit faster. But.
Yeah, like if you were like book it out of the train, if you knew what to do and caught the other train on the other side, maybe it would be faster. Yeah. But if you didn't, you had to wait for the next train, and it might be longer. So it felt risky.
Yeah, and we would. That's the other thing. We would have had to go out of security and back into security, from what I understand.
Right.
So not worth it. But we did get to the park, and we kind of got real, not at the edge of our time, but we went directly to Light Cycle Run. We basically walked directly into Tomorrowland and went to Tron.
Yeah, and it was hot.
It was a hot day, very hot day. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think of Tron?
It's funny. It's a funny thing because I guess technology advances so fast now that even though this is a newer attraction at Disney World, it's the newest attraction at Disney World. This roller coaster, it's also a clone from Shanghai Disneyland from like 2017 or something. And so like it does not feel as like premium or impressive as Cosmic Rewind.
Right.
Although like some of the queue stuff was cool. Like the queue itself was like kind of whatever. There was like some cool moments when you look over and see like the coaster stuff.
I thought it was very cool.
And particularly like yes, like the thing with the windows like transforming, like boom, it was super cool. But like there's sometimes where it's just like hallways, or you're just standing in a room that does a little like switchbacks, I think they're called. The
Yeah.
And like just like it's just a screen of the woman repeating the same information for the entire time. You could be in there for half an hour.
True.
And that part's pretty lame. It's not the worst queue by any means, but
I really love the
but there's
start
some
of the
really
queue.
cool moments. Yes.
Yeah, I really love the start of the queue when you're looking at the screen and you don't really even know that it's gonna be like
Glass.
And they do. I don't really even know how they do it. They probably have some LCD screen that goes transparent. I have no idea. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting to me.
The entire. No, that's the coolest part.
But you think it's a screen, and then it just tells you like logging you in, and you just see a cross. And initially I thought like, oh, is this a 3D something? No, it was the
rest
ride
of the crew,
right there.
Yeah, the ride going off behind you.
And then you walk around, and that whole area is, I thought, incredible. Like,
yes, that's the coolest part of the whole queue.
You look down into the launches of the...
Yeah, and if you have little kids in the room with you, especially little boys, every time they make the same sound. Because both times... There was like a couple little boys in our room during that part of the queue that was like, whoa! They don't understand it. I don't understand it. So I can only imagine for them, it is magical.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
That was me. I was the little boy.
Whoa!
Wow!
I was super impressed by that moment.
Yeah, the first time I was like recording, and it kind of took me by surprise. I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah, I remember you made a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, other than that, we waited in. It took a while, even with the
Yeah, the virtual queue. That's the whole thing. I think they still prioritize paying customers. So if you pay for Lightning Lane rather than waiting in the virtual queue, it'll still be faster. You'll be like in and out.
Yeah,
which makes sense, but
it's fine.
Still sucks.
I mean, it wasn't too long. It was just
No, it's not like waiting for Space Mountain during like peak times where you're like waiting for like an hour and a half. It was still probably like 30 minutes.
Yeah, even less probably.
Maybe less.
Yeah. And yeah, you have to put on most of your items in a locker, which is free, which is nice.
Yeah, apparently they charge a Universal. I didn't know that.
They charge you on Universal?
I think for more than an hour or something.
Depends. Yeah, and depends on the ride apparently.
Where was it that they charged for rails at Busch Gardens?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that sucks.
I mean, I think that depending on the ride, that's the thing. That's what we learned. But
we're really into theme parks right now.
Yeah, and also the little ride has a little bucket that your bike has like a. I don't know what you call it, like a glove compartment.
Yeah, like a little compartment, a shitty one. Oh, yeah, it did not make me feel good.
We thought that it was going to be like, oh yeah, you lock it in and it's like sealed. No, it's basically a plastic little H bar thing, and it's like, click, and it just clicks down.
Think of like the like when you had a cassette player.
Yeah.
The little door that opens up and you just like slide something in and go. But like it doesn't even lock. It just like you just close it.
The cassette player is way more secure than
entirely. No, like there's like a little hole in it. I thought, oh, there's a little glassing so you can see your stuff inside. No, it's just a hole.
Yeah, it's a
hole. If it's small enough, your shit can fly out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no positive G's in this flight
Still, like I mean, like, if you had like I don't know, like a thin enough watch.
Yeah, but there's no positive G's. It never flies out. You never do this in this flight. In this ride, the forces are mostly negative, so nothing would fly out.
I don't believe you, but like the point is, it still doesn't make me feel good. The point was, I had my magic band in there because I don't trust that shit either to stay on my wrist. Mm-hmm. And then like I feel like neither time was I able to fully like enjoy it because you need the magic band to open your locker. So I had to keep it with me. And so I never felt super secure. I was always concerned about my watch flying through that little hole.
I was very relaxed but it is not a safe lock.
Yeah.
If the ride was any more intense, yes.
For
it
a
would be
$500 million
scary.
ride, that could have been better.
It could have been better. No, definitely. It feels shitty. Also, like
These are gripes,
for a
but-
cyber bike that's from the future, it looks like the cheapest made in China
weird.
plastic.
But that stuff aside, the ride. Tell me about the ride.
So the ride is cool. One thing that I will say, the first time that we rode it in the morning, there was I didn't find any way to be comfortable in that bike. And I don't know if it's a height thing. I don't know if it's a leg length thing, because look at these.
Yeah, because it adjusts to how you lean in. So maybe like we were like over adjusted or something, and it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We rode it
bad
a second
position.
time and it was better. So
Yeah.
So I don't know if I did something wrong the first time. I really was very kind of uncomfortable there.
We both were. I remember like, yes, a lot of pressure on my chest and on my legs.
Yeah, and my titties. And anyway, it starts with a good launch. It's a fun launch. I wouldn't say it's as intense as Rock and Roller Coaster.
I'm scared of launches. That's the thing.
You were still scared, I noticed.
That's one of my big. Yes, I was still scared. But I'm not the biggest thrill ride person. And what I've learned in my years is that I can kind of handle the loop-de-loop. I can handle the inversions. The thing that always gets me is like a really big launch, like a really quick, like 0 to like 80, 0 to 65 launch. But this was totally doable. It was super fun. It launches you straight outside, which is like you said, it's your favorite part of the ride.
I think that like that's to me the most exciting aspect of this ride. This sort of feeling of like almost coming out of the arena. You're like a gladiator in like these gallows or something, and it just opens up and you see the air, you see the big dome that they built around it all lit up, and you feel like, oh wow, I'm in the stadium. You know, I'm racing here.
I see that and I kind of agree, but I think at day it's kind of who cares.
Yeah,
There's nothing
it's
special.
cooler. It's cooler at night.
When it's
but
all
I will
lit up.
say also, in the daytime, that having that feeling of going into the stadium where it's all very lit, it had more of a feeling like that. It was very bright. You come out and it's like very bright.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool.
Right, but not very Tron is the thing. Like Tron is
Tron.
is very like bright, like colored lights.
It doesn't feel very Tron. It's not like there's no wireframes. They try to do these hexagons in the dome.
Yeah, once you go inside to the dark ride portion of it, though, that was for me the part where it gets better.
Yeah, it's cool
I enjoyed
as well.
that, but it's too short of a ride.
It is a very, very short ride, and there's no changes, not even like a varied soundtrack or.
Yeah.
I always thought that like the idea would be to have like the different teams, and they maybe would put you in two different.
Yeah, orange team and blue team, but then it's just like blue team or blue team.
Yeah, I mean blue team is a good team in canon, I suppose, so that's why. But it would have been cool to have like I don't know a more intense version that's green or something like they do in the other one.
Yeah, I feel like there's maybe a litmus test or something to say for these roller coasters, these Disney roller coasters. For example, like would you put your mom on it? And like my mother is more of a scaredy cat than I am. Yeah. Although for some reason she did Supreme Scream at Knott's Berry Farm. It's like, oh, it wasn't that bad, and I would never. She did that, and she went on the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror thing and was like horrified, but she did that one. She confounds me. Point is,
the drops are not my thing and not his thing.
Yeah, the point is that there is a little cubby in the back for some of them that don't have the little like lean forward bike thing. It was just a more of a standard like lap down coaster vehicle. And I think if she was afraid of it, I could recommend her that, and I think she'd be totally fine.
Yeah,
it's not a scary coaster.
What the qualifications required for that?
I think you would just request it.
Oh, you just ask for it?
Yeah, I think they will always prioritize somebody who is like handicapped or something.
Of course, but eventually it'll come to you, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm saying it depends on, I guess, if you want to wait for it.
I noticed that some of the cars had it and some of the cars didn't.
That's why it's like depends on demand. So like if nobody's requesting it, they'll put you on it. If not, they'll be like, we can't accommodate that. Do you want to get on or not?
Yeah. No, but I mean specifically the actual carts.
No, I know.
Of them didn't have it in the back.
I know. I'm saying it's
okay.
based on availability because it's not on every single one. There's maybe like one or two that have it.
And but other than that, it was fun. I liked it. We didn't love it that much the first time.
The first time I was not sold, but the second time I think it's good. I think
Yeah.
I think it's a. I don't want to say must do, but it does separate it from Disneyland at least.
Yeah.
Disneyland does not have it, and so if you are a Disneylander like me, I think it is absolutely a thing to seek out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very fun.
Yeah.
And then what did we do?
We went on Pirates.
Yeah, we got out, and I needed parts for my very skimpy pirate outfit.
Bernardo was like, "What? People are dressing up in costume for this? You can dress up in a costume?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What are you doing?"
People were not dressing up in costumes. We'll tell you all about it. People were not. It was not high effort here.
No, but still, he had heard about it, that it was a thing.
Yeah.
Because you normally can't do it as an adult. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I have like a Halloween-y shirt, Disney shirt."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What?" And I was like, "I told you, did you want to get one?" And you're like, "No, I have shirts." And then you're like, "Oh, I didn't know you meant that." And so
But
now,
actually, I did have a shirt. It ended up being pretty.
no, you made it work. Yes, of course.
No, that was the themed shirt. That's the one that I was talking about. I have. Well, you'll see it.
The pirate one.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying it ended up being fortuitous, so it wasn't by design necessarily. You made it work.
Sure. But anyway, we went into Pirates to mostly to just purchase a few items.
But first we got on it. Pirates is my mother's favorite ride. I've been on it. Anytime we go to Disneyland, we have to go on it at least twice because she requests it. And so I have a lot of love and I have a lot of detail in my mind of how that ride works. This is a bastardization of that ride.
You don't like the pirates in Florida.
Yeah, they did a bad job. I'll say they did a bad job.
Yeah?
On this one.
I don't quite remember. I did that Pirates with you last time. Well, the thing is that one of the nicest things about that one is the restaurant overlooking like the ride. I think that it works in both ways. When you're in the ride and you see the people in the restaurant, it kind of feels lively.
Yeah.
And when you're in the restaurant and looking at the people on the ride, it just feels kind of like, oh, that's cool, so themed.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one doesn't have that. And it also feels like the components are all like mixed together. The drop is right at the start in this one, basically.
It's actually kind of late.
Is it? I don't know. I forget.
So what happened? It's very remixed.
Yeah, okay.
Like back at Disneyland, like you have the bayou scene, which is pretty long, except the one by the restaurant, and there's like the crocodile, and there's fireflies, and there's like the old man playing his banjo in his cabin on the bayou. And then you have two drops.
Right.
You have a drop, a bigger drop, and then like a smaller drop, and then you're into like the scene where this one starts. Like it immediately takes you to the scene with like the guy, like the skeleton pirate in the ship in the storm. And then from there, Disney World, that's when you have the drop. And then from there, you're just in the town already. That's like right before it starts burning.
Yeah, but that's what I
being
thought. Like
ransacked?
this one starts in a cave where there's like explaining some treasure thing, and when you end up in that section, there's the skull with the red eyes. That's fairly early in this ride.
It's like it's similar, honestly. I think it's just that like it's remixed. Like this one starts where after the waterfall is at Disneyland,
Right.
and then you have a waterfall in Disney World.
Right. Okay.
And then from there, it takes you straight into like the ship firing into the town and like them ransacking the city,
Right.
which is like two more scenes after where it is in Disneyland.
Right.
Like they're just missing here.
I guess it just felt very early because nothing had happened before.
Yeah.
In this one, at least that was my impression. Anyway, to me it's fine, but I'm sure that it is.
It's better than nothing. It's still like always nice, but it's like a shocking cut down of it. I'm like, this was it? Some of my favorite stuff is the build up in the Disneyland one, and it's all gone. It's just
Right.
action.
Not so familiar with it, but I also don't have the nostalgia or the knowledge factor. So
It was very upsetting. Anyway, we got off the ride. We got you your stuff.
I bought some booty.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of tired and we didn't want to stay all day, so we actually ended up going.
We went home and had a rest.
Yeah, we rested because it had been a few days, intense days before that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we wanted to get into our costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we did that. We got pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we dressed up and went like around like 4 o'clock.
And when we were getting ready, it started storming. Storming.
Basically, as soon as we got off the bus, it was like, we're here now. The storm's happening, buddies. And yeah, I remember just like waiting for you because you got searched pretty hard. And that time, and just waiting in the rain and be like, well, great. And the shoes were soaked. I had to throw them away later in the day.
Yeah, we had to buy him some Crocs.
That's all they have.
We both hate Crocs, but like, yeah, there's nothing else in Disney. They don't sell any other type of shoe other than if you to like Disney Springs.
Yeah, or like rain jackets. It seems like this is
Florida. We had a very hard time finding any rain jacket or any Crocs or any bucket hats for that matter. Like there were like 2 or 3, but like
some of them were very explicitly for girls though.
Yeah. And that's what we were looking for, and like nothing that we were searching for specifically was for sale. I don't really know if like we got them in a wrong time.
Yeah.
But yes.
No, it just felt weird that like such things that were like, wow, people messed up and forgot to pack this thing because they don't know how Florida works. We should have known better, to be fair. I should have known better, but I didn't. And so I paid the price, and like you would think that Disney would want to capitalize it, and they don't. It's really weird.
Yeah, those Crocs are also not ideal. I don't think that they're ideal, but they were better than what you had.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kept on like storming and awful. And I don't know what we ended up doing.
We went to be our guest.
Right, we went directly into to be our guest?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We had cut reservations for be our guest. Did it have the 10%, this one?
Yes, it did.
Okay, this one does do the discount for yearly and annual passes.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done, be our guest.
Yeah.
But that place was at like 65 degrees inside, and it was
cold.
storming, and my pants and underwear and everything was soaked.
I think that's the moment we got sick.
So that is definitely the moment I got sick. I went into the bathroom and I tried to soak my pants with just paper, with like toilet paper and stuff, because it was that bad, and it was not getting. I mean, there was no warmth, so I was not getting drier.
Yeah.
And I was shivering.
Oh, no, that was bad.
And so, yeah, that's...
I wore a poncho, so I was feeling pretty good. My feet were wet, but everything else was fine.
I had a very nice jacket, but the jacket only covers this much, and when you're wet down here and you're that wet, it starts steeping upwards.
Mm.
It was awful. I was, yeah.
You had a miserable experience. I thought Be Our Guest was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, no, Be Our Guest was good. I did think that in many ways it has, but this is Disney in general maybe. It has a lot of, I don't know, pretext of fanciness.
Sure.
Without really following through. So for example, we knew that there was bread and butter coming early in the dinner. But they first brought our drinks and our entrees or
Appetizers?
Was it our appetizers? They brought I think it was our appetizers and drinks, and then when we were almost done with our appetizers, they brought the bread with butter. So like it was very I don't know, awkward.
Yeah.
And also they arrived first with mine and then with yours or something like. That sort of thing, if you're paying $200 for dinner, you should be a little bit more careful.
I think our waiter wasn't so great here. I think our waiter at Space 220 was nicer, although I think that I like the food better at Be Our Guest.
Yeah, it was similar, honestly. It's funny how like they had...
You ate what I had at Space 220 at Be Our Guest, basically.
Yeah, we basically swapped dishes. And
I had the pork chop at Be Our Guest. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I had the, what was it?
And the French onion soup was good. You had the short rib.
Yeah,
braised short rib.
Yes. And it was a terrine? Was it?
Something like that.
Yeah. It was fine. I thought it was fine. Nothing blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
The desserts were okay as well. Just fine.
Yeah.
one recommendation: if you want to sit at some place, you tell them
Request it right away because
because they always tell you, and when you're in the rush and you're just arriving and you know that you tell them you have a reservation, you don't tell them.
Yeah, they were checking us in. They're like, okay, so you're here for 2 guys. Okay, you're all checked in. And I was like, wait. And then I was like, too late already to request because I knew that I wanted to go into the West Wing, the place where like the rose is happening, and the petals falling, and it's gorgeous in there. It's dark. It's quiet.
Very dark. I'll say that. Unpopular opinion, I like the East Wing. I liked the ambience of the East Wing. It was much more, it was empty and quiet and drier, it seemed. My least favorite was where we got, which was the ballroom.
I get it. The main ballroom where most people
it feels like a food court. It's huge and it's just
loud.
Full of people, super loud.
Yeah, I didn't like the loudness.
Yeah.
But it was still nice kind of sitting in the room where the movie happens.
Yeah, of course. It was cool anyway. Like the theming, everything was like nice, but I wish they had like more a little bit more the way that Space 220 does it, where it like puts some tables that are in a second room, like in a second height, and then there's some tables below, and then there's the windows, and that gives you a bit of a separation, and you don't feel like you're like crammed in. So the Beauty and the Beast castle would be perfect if you could have some rooms, like some tables that are maybe in the second floor overlooking the ballroom. And then I don't know, I feel like you could do more with maybe elevating some of the spaces and lowering so that it doesn't feel so much like a food court, because it really did.
It's true. That's fair.
But it was fine. And after that we had Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
The party started at that point. That was exciting. But we went first straight to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yes, that's true. It had started already, so like wait times were lower.
Yeah.
Although for some reason that's a strange thing that happened. All the wait times said like, oh, it's
40 minutes.
40 minutes, and we were looking at the queue, and it was like, there's nobody there.
Yeah, we asked the lady, like, is this queue
Are you sure?
Yeah, I remember we asked like the attendant, like, is it 40 minutes? And she didn't look back at the line. She just looked at the posted time. She's like, yep, 40 minutes. And I was like...
And we were, like, we got in there and it was like...
nobody here.
15 minutes at most.
Yeah.
It was very quick. And it was the same for a lot of the rides. We went into, well, at that point you could go into anything.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, speed run, I guess.
Yeah.
Seven North Mine Train, what did you think?
It was good. It was cool. I liked it more than the Thunder Railroad. What's it called? Big Thunder Mountain Railroad thing.
It's basically a lot like that.
It's very similar. It has also oscillating carts, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
How was it?
Huh?
How was it? Okay.
It's fun. The theming of the way in is very cool. I thought that it also has more narrative weaved into the thing. Once the roller coaster is over, you can see a little more characters, which I thought was nice.
Yes, I liked it. Yes, it was nice. It's not it's good for the kiddies. It's like more thrilling than like a very baby coaster in a way.
Yeah.
But like something that you can put your kids on to like get them into like a ride that you will enjoy more maybe.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't scored anything by the way.
Okay, yes, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
So Tron,
first ride, 7 out of 10.
also 7 out of 10.
Right.
Second ride?
Second ride, probably 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 also.
And then the dwarves?
Pirates.
Pirates? I don't know. 7 out of 10?
4.
Okay, yeah, I don't know enough.
No, I know. I think
The
it's...
Wrath of Rick.
No, I think it's that upsetting. It's like if you've been on the Disneyland one, it is that bad of a version
You
of it.
make it walk the plank.
Yeah.
Yarg.
It's kind of crazy. I find it really bothered me.
Yeah. I see.
It's missing stuff. A lot of stuff. But anyway, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
8. I thought it was cute for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would give it a 7.5, but I know you don't like that, so
No,
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, 8. I thought it was very cute. and kind of like a good level of intensity.
Would mother? Ain't it mama también? Would you go on it?
My mother probably would. This is kind of the limit I think that my mom would appreciate.
Yeah, Mom,
Yes.
you're okay on this one for me too. You would like it. You would like it.
Yeah. And what else after that?
After that,
We did a
Tron.
bunch of stuff.
We did, yeah. So I think we went on Tron already again, which we already said we liked it a lot better at night.
Yeah, it was cooler. It was Nighttime Tron is a bit the better Tron. It's clear.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we went on Space Mountain.
Oh, fuck that ride. Can we curse in this podcast?
You already did. You can bleep it if you want.
Yeah.
You
No.
want another drink?
Sure.
Okay, you tell them what you think. I'll be right back.
So Space Mountain. I don't know what I remembered of Space Mountain. I remember going in the Disneyland Space Mountain and thinking it was cool. But I didn't remember the differences with this one because I actually had been in this one before. But for one, I don't know if it was a Halloween thing, but it was extremely dark. Like you could not see anything. There was the whole ride was completely dark. From what I understand, there's moments in which like there's flashes of light or something in other versions. This was gone, and I really hated this ride. It was so
I have since learned, though, that
rough.
it seems like during the Halloween party, they turn off the lights. And
That's
so-
what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very rough. There were a lot of moments of like, I don't know, bunny hops. I don't know what to call them, but
Yeah,
like the track just does it like a little. And
yeah.
I don't know who thought that was thrilling back in the 70s or whatever, whenever this was made.
I guess maybe if you can see it a bit more, if you can see the track a bit more, it helps. Because like when you anticipate it, maybe it's a little bit of
But
a
it just
fun
felt
to
like,
that.
ugh. It just felt like going on a car with. It wasn't super exciting, like very intense at all. It just felt like going on a car that's in a dirt road, in a really bad dirt road, and they have no intention of slowing down. And you're like, yeah, great. That was it. That was my experience of Space Mountain. And the theming outside of Space Mountain, like of the actual roller coaster, I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember it, but yes, now, I don't know. A 2? Can I give it a 2? I hate it. I hated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Space Mountain is my favorite ride at Disneyland. Disneyland's version is way better. I don't feel like it's also like the fairest shot to give it. Are we choosing?
Yeah, I mean, oh, right, yes. Mango chili.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cheers. Space Mountain is my favorite ride at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
This is a worse version, in my opinion. I don't know if it's the fairest shot to give it because it was a Halloween version where the lights were off. And so it didn't give it the fairest shot. So maybe it's like better than like when it's operating as it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not as like upsetting as this was because it just felt like just being walked around in the dark. It felt like when you're like a kid and your older cousins like decide to just turn off the lights and start shoving you against the wall and stuff.
Experience that I have not had, but sure.
No? Okay.
No, not
Lucky
really.
you. Or like throw it into like a laundry basket. I had a lot of cousins that were very mean.
I didn't.
But it's kind of that. It just feels like somebody turning off the lights and beating you up.
Kind of. Yeah. But like not like mean spirited, just like lame. I don't know.
But that's more fun than what was happening here.
Yeah.
At least that kind of builds character or something. I did not enjoy this one very much. I didn't hate it as much as you did. But I would not do that one again. I would like to try it again though with the lights on, not the full lights on, because people have a thing for that too, where something goes wrong and you turn the whole lights on in the ride. But with like the stars and stuff still,
yeah,
I would like to see that version. But Disneyland still wins. I would give this version as we wrote it like a 6.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
From there we got candy.
We got candy. We weren't gonna get candy, but we got candy. We didn't get enough candy because something that Rick doesn't know is that if I have candy available from
not just candy
in front of me,
if you have something edible in front of you,
yes, it will be absorbed. It will be assimilated. We require more minerals.
For a skinny guy, he has worse self-control around food than I do.
But specifically, candy, it does a thing to me. Like, and I'm not even a sweet person. Like, I don't go out of my way to get candy. But if it's available, it will be eaten.
The entire time we were sick, Bernardo would be like, "Oh, poor baby, here, you have a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Have a Milky Way."
So we brought a few, and yes, I wanted to keep them until
Halloween. They're gone. They're long gone. They're long gone.
But we could have gotten more, and I now resent that we didn't get more. We had like maybe half full bags.
No, I think like 3/4.
Well, 3/4, but
we did 2 trails. Or
one thing that we will say is that those were good amounts of candy that they gave you.
Yeah.
We will dispel the notion that they don't give you enough candy.
Yeah, they had like actual like scoops this time. They're like scooping, so they're like falling out. Like, there's a few times where they just like drop. Some of them were dropping on the floor, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "I got it." And so like I was grabbing everything and throwing it in the bag. I was like, "I'm getting my money back."
Yeah.
But yes, they gave us a lot of candy. Considering we went to just 2 of it.
We probably could have asked for more, even like or other bags. Like, yeah.
No, I think you can. But like I think. Like for just doing 2 trails, and they're everywhere in the park. We got a lot of candy, but we did that, and then we went on the Barnstormer. I don't know if it's barely even worth mentioning.
Yes, it's fine. It's a kid's.
It's really a kid's roller coaster.
And we ran into it because there was no one in line, so we actually had to kind of run to get into the one that was leaving the station.
Yeah.
And we basically were out of there in 30 seconds.
Yeah, the lady was like, we were like, walking up to it. She's like, go, go, go. It's still, we have so much seats left. And I was like, okay. And so we just like ran into it and just got it.
We in and out 30 seconds.
It took longer to like run up the track to get onto the train than it did to ride the ride.
Yeah, it's fine. I can't really judge it.
No, I mean like, yes, again, if you have a little Timmy who's scared of roller coasters, this is an even better one to get him started.
Yeah, it's fine. It is minor, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's a 3. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, 3, 4, sure.
Yeah,
I could see some of the theming.
Nothing wrong, but I wouldn't like go on it. I wouldn't go out of my way to get on it. But like if it was there, there's no line, I'd be like, sure, let's get on this.
Then what do we do?
From there, I think it was the parade.
We did see the parade. It was cool.
Halloween parade. Yeah, I would say that boo to you, boo to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's Halloween, everybody from Disneyland, but it was a cute song.
That one's terrible.
Huh?
Because that other one's terrible.
I love It's Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
Let out a scream. It's Halloween.
It's some budget ass like royalty.
Oh, it's awful. No, it's shitty, but it's great. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway.
From there we got on Peter Pan.
Well, I guess it's a classic. I don't really know how to judge that.
I thought it was. I remember hearing people saying that this is this is the best dark ride for most people in Fantasyland in both coasts. And I do love it at Disneyland, but it's always like way too long of a wait. There was like nobody in line, so this was perfect.
Yeah, we just got in as well.
It feels like after the parade, a lot of people started clearing out. Yeah. And so it was a great time to go on it. But it kind of looked cheaper here than at Disneyland, and I've been on it recently.
Well, you did mention that in Disneyland you're like suspended higher, so you don't interact.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like you are higher, which I think this is the thing that was kind of cooler here, though.
Yeah.
At Disneyland, it feels like it's like miniatures almost, and you're really high up, which is a cool idea in a way. But here you're kind of more in it seemed, according to my memory. And you're seeing a lot of like the characters a lot closer up.
There's a video, but it's so dark that I think that the quality of
it's so dark, but it's also more lit.
Yeah.
And like I could see a lot of the stuff. Like I remember looking at the walls, and I could see like the black cloth like all crumpled up and stuff, and like where the walls themselves were, where I couldn't really see that stuff at Disneyland. I feel like a lot of those edges were smoothed out. Whereas here I could see like it felt like you were in like a room with black cloth draped up. And
I'm sure it is that.
Yeah, and of course it is that, but like I feel like I could see a lot of the themes here, and I don't know if something was wrong, or if that's just how it always is. But that did kind of bother me a little bit, and it made me feel like, I guess Disneyland is better again. Which
I don't know.
I want to enjoy more.
I don't think I've gone to the Disneyland one. This one was cute.
It's cute, but I want to give Magic Kingdom like a win, and there is one, but it's minor. I think that Disneyland sweeps more so far in like all these comparison rides than Magic Kingdom does.
Not in theming, you said.
No, in theming, Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Disney World in general, but particularly Magic Kingdom, is amazing.
Yeah.
Like on the outside stuff, just like looking around, a lot of like the empty the space, walking between places. A lot of stuff is super well thought out and gorgeous.
Yeah.
And stuff, but like in terms of rides, I should specify.
Yeah.
And all the comparables so far, I think Disneyland like sweeps. Like it's like not even close. But
maybe.
the next one I will like the next one though was Haunted Mansion, which was our last ride of the night.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh no! So well, first I guess we had the Hades cone. I guess is one thing to talk about. The spicy like Dole Whip.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That was kind of delicious, but
Was
weirdly
that before,
spicy.
Before or after? I thought it was after. Anyway, doesn't matter.
After I guess it's hard to remember the specific order of things anymore, but like it was around there.
We had an Aurora cone and a Hades cone.
Yeah, yours was kind of just like fruit flavored Dole Whip.
It was. It wasn't even fruit. It was just sugar. Sugar flavored sugar.
Yeah. Well, mine was like orange Dole Whip, I think, with chili. Or no, it was mango Dole Whip with chili, which makes sense. It's a very Mexican thing.
I mean, this thing.
It's this flavor, I guess. Mango chili is a very Mexican flavor combination, like a dessert thing.
Yeah.
And it was surprisingly spicy.
It was very hot. Well, you'll see.
Yeah, and I found it delicious. But it was like, I was like, Disney, what are you doing?
It was unique.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, we had somebody stop by and ask us, like, which one's that one? And we're like, oh, this one. They're like, no. And they pointed out specifically the Aurora
Yeah, they actually
one.
wanted the Aurora.
This one's exclusive to Halloween.
Lady.
And she wanted the one you can get any time of the day. Okay.
Fine. It's
Make that
cute.
make
It's
sense.
cute.
I appreciated the thing, but like still, it was like, this one like was cooler. It was like all orange and fiery, and it had like a cool drizzle on it. But I guess yours had like pearls,
Yes.
like sugar pearls.
Yep.
It was
It was
cute.
sugar with sugar and
It
sugar.
was it was very sugar.
And maybe cream.
Both
Sugar.
nice. I like the Hades one better.
Yeah, I think that the Hades is more unique, but I liked Aurora. Aurora was sweet.
Yes, it was sweet. He likes it sweet. I like it spicy, which is why we were together. Some of the order stuff might be wrong, but we went saw fireworks is what I have next.
Yeah, but fireworks and yes, the fireworks, the big event, the main.
The big like show. It's like it's the thing that like it is the big showpiece nighttime spectacular.
Yes.
It was a Halloween one. I guess you say first. I have thoughts. Go ahead.
I thought it was cute, but so cute. But also kind of. So what happens to me when there's like a projection on a thing and audio and a lot of people and fireworks, is that I have a hard time kind of like bringing it back to a character or something that's happening. With Fantasmic, it's much easier because like Mickey's here and then Mickey's there and then the witch is there and the witch is here and
It's a more dedicated, like clearly followable show.
yeah
Story.
This one had a story, it seems.
Yeah.
It was like the characters going to the mansion and I don't know what happens. The ghosts. And then there's ghosts. And then they're scared, but they triumph over ghosts. And it was cool. It was impressive. Like a lot of the effects are very, very nice looking. But yeah, overall it left me a little bit like cold. I would have wished that there were like actual characters in the stage. Maybe just dancing around at the start and at the end, maybe coming in and out. That gives me more of a context. I would have liked that. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was cool.
Give me a score.
I don't know, a score to the show.
Yeah, I think it's a big moment.
Fine, is 7.
Okay.
Boring 7, no 6. 7 is what I give to everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you?
This was stellar. I thought this was one of the moment when Magic Kingdom demolished Disneyland.
Really?
I thought this fireworks show was the best fireworks show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh wow!
Yes, it was incredible. I thought the projection, like, because the real estate of the castle, for one, like, completely eclipses Disneyland's castle. Yeah. There's a lot more real estate to work with the projection, so you could really show a lot of imagery on there and do a lot of like fun wizardry with it. There's a lot more airspace also around Disney World, and it's not like surrounded by like residential stuff like Disneyland is. And so fireworks could go much higher, could spread out further, and do crazier, like louder things.
It's cool. Like that part of the production is incredible.
And so, like, I've always been a thing that loves fireworks, person who loves fireworks, because like, my sister I found would always be like, no, let's go on a ride instead. We've seen the fireworks, and so I often feel like robbed of fireworks, like as a kid.
I hate fireworks; they're too loud.
I saw them enough times to be fair, but.
I don't actually hate fireworks, but they are too loud.
I would often fight for Fantasmic. Fantasmic is my favorite Disney nighttime show, and that still stands today. I love it. It makes me feel emotional, and that's fine. But I still like have like a soft spot for the fireworks.
Emotions are fine.
I don't get to see it that often, and sometimes it'll even get canceled because of weather. And I feared that it would be canceled here because the weather had been shitty.
Yeah, that's
But it wasn't, and so we got lucky, and so we got to see this fireworks show. I thought it was absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10.
Oh wow!
No, I mean, like, I want to see it again. Like, it that made the trip for me. I don't know if you even knew that. I kept that to myself. I wanted to tell you, but it took a while to say this. That fireworks show made the trip.
Oh, I was not privy to this information.
Yeah.
This big surprise.
Yeah, that was magic to me.
Cool. I liked it, but I didn't. But that's the thing. I wanted to have more of a story there, and I kind of got lost in all of the effects and stuff happening.
Yeah, so that was huge for me.
Cool.
I was so glad we had a really great spot.
Yeah, as well. Yes.
Like pretty close to the castle.
I don't know how they do, but they also kind of project to the sides. Maybe there's castle there.
Yeah.
There are like bits that they project into, like more in technical terms, that I hadn't even noticed were there when the lights were on.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how they do it. I for a second I thought that maybe they were like parade floats that they had like moved into the area, but then they turned it on and they were there. There were pieces of the castle that are kind of separated. It was pretty impressive. But yes, anyway, and to your point, I think it is very impressive.
Like I just know what I know, and I have a memory of watching one of the shows as a kid at Disney World and being impressed by it. But we had to watch it from far away because there was too many people. And it was cool, but it was like barely better than the Disneyland one back then. This was like 2006, maybe 2004, 2004, I think. But I remember also like the fireworks show for Halloween always being better back home even, and so like this was like a similar situation, but like turned up to 11. It was crazy, and yeah, I will treasure that show.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Cool. I did not know.
Yeah,
I would have paid more attention.
But from there we went to Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion. La Haunted Mansion.
Les
Maisons.
I guess I can talk about this one a bit. Another classic Disney like castle ride, like Castle Park Disney ride.
Yeah, one of the classic ones, right? One of the original ones.
And so I think it's in like a version of it is in every castle park, Disneyland.
Funny story, when I was like 12 and I came to Disney, I don't know what age I was. I refused to go into this because I was so scared.
No, I get it. I also was scared.
It was so, and my whole family went in there, and I was like left outside, and I was sitting in the corner there, and I was so angry. I remember being so angry and scared, and family was like, "It's not scary. You can go." And I at the time,
it's cute. No,
you're an idiot.
I had similar thing, but I always went on it. But I remember like knowing that, if I'm not mistaken, that the part that used to really freak me out was in the attic. The bride at Disneyland, who has like for better or worse, and she had the axe and stuff like that. And her face kind of was like, And that used to scare me, and she was on the right side. So I'd always tell my sister, like, I have to be on the left side. Because, like, I don't want to be next to her. It bothered me because I had done it before. Because I had to stay with my sister.
Right.
And so she's like, fine. And then they moved her to the left side. And so, like, after 2 times of being like, no, I'm going to sit on the left side. And she's like, okay, fine, go ahead. I was surprised with the ride on the left side. I'd be like, no,
she's
found me. But used to really upset me. And then like the guys in like the graveyard shooting out, which they don't seem to do anymore. It used to make a really loud sound, like behind the tombstones. Is the ghosts, the ghouls that go behind the tombstone.
Right.
That used to really scare me. It used to scare me a lot. Is my point.
Right.
So I get you, but now I love it. I love horror and stuff, and it's like barely scary now, but it's still classic and it's surprisingly scary for Disney.
Is it?
I find.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I find that now that I know, but now that I've seen, for example, the movie and the tone that they're going for, it gives me more goofy than scary.
Right. I just feel like that's the thing, is that the movies kind of don't seem to get the ride. I find that it's not a particularly scary ride as an adult, but it's still going more for like actual death and like murder.
Maybe.
Like even like the person like hanging like in the ceiling at the beginning of like the elevator.
That's cool. That is cool.
And so like it's a darker ride than you expect. Like Disney, you'd think it'd be just kind of like ooh, like cloth the ghost over or something, like over Donald or something.
Kind of.
But it's not. It's like talking about like death, and it's like if you die here, you stay here kind of thing. And it's like, is it like actually scary? No. But is it like actually more like dark than I would expect from Disney? Personally, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, point is, it's a cool thing. I have a very soft spot for the Disneyland version again. Like it's a New Orleans style mansion, whereas this one I think is more New England style. And I love that they are different mansion facades completely. Mm-hmm. This one feels much grander. I still will always kind of love the Disney World New Orleans one, but it's decidedly impressive. Once you go inside. I do miss that you can feel like the elevator coming down in a way at Disneyland, whereas here the thing goes up because you can't sink down because it's a swamp.
Oh, right.
So at Disney World, you don't like drop down in the stretching room.
But the effect is better, I suppose.
I guess like it feels like more like the room is stretching, I guess. Yeah. But like I still like kind of love that thing. It happened out of necessity at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because it's the original one, so I think that's a cool like little factoid of how that effect came to be. But yeah, they just couldn't do that here, so it stretches up. So like that's more personal taste and stuff. But I kind of missed it, but it's fine. It barely affects anything.
Yeah.
I think once you get onto the ride itself, it's better. I think it's better than the Disneyland one. Not as big of a stark of a difference as the Pirates versions, but it is still like a little bit longer here and like structured in a kind of cool way. Like you normally walk through the room with the changing paintings. Where like it's like a painting and then like lighting flashes and then it changes. And here it's part of the ride, which I think is cool. And then like there's
I remember that, yes.
The staircases with like the steps and stuff in the darkness.
Oh, that's the MC Escher room. Yeah.
That thing, yeah.
I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, that's not at Disneyland at all.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I hadn't been in this one, so I had never been in this one out of fear. But yeah, it was very cool that one room.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically that. I think it's kind of like a virgin, sort of like a ghost virgin thing. In at the end, that's a like very bright blue, a very desaturated room, and it's kind of telling you like goodbye or something. I don't know. Goodbye.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of there as well. Although I guess this part is part of the ride at Disneyland. It is part of like the escalator out.
Right.
So you're on your feet there when it's happening. Hurry back. Hurry back.
I thought that it was very, very striking in a kind of visual design
cool.
thing.
And like you're like in a mausoleum in that moment, which is cool. Yeah, I think that, again, theming is done better here. It's a lot of the stuff is still there in a different way at Disneyland. I think it's more effective at Magic Kingdom. But I do think overall it's better at Magic Kingdom.
I wouldn't know, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Sadly, no hat ghost, though.
Yeah. No,
we were promised Hat Ghost. We went to the movies and we saw Hat Ghost, Hatbox Ghost.
Hatbox Ghost.
Hatbox box. Ghost. That's a stupid thing for a ghost. It's so dumb. Hatbox Ghost.
It's the title that I think fans gave it. It has also some legendary status.
Yeah.
It was there at the opening at Disneyland, but the effect didn't work well, so they took it out. But it was a legend for people who wrote it in the first couple of weeks that it was a thing that happened, but people didn't have evidence of it. But they remember that it had a hatbox that the head teleported into and came out, and so people called it Hatbox Ghost. So that kind of became its name.
I just call it Jared Leto.
Also, sure.
He's my paralysis demon.
But yeah, it was a great way to end the night. We
didn't actually end it there. We went to the dance show thing.
Dance show.
There was a hocus pocus thing at the castle again.
No, sure. I think we took some B-roll.
Yeah, we took
for a moment and looked around and saw, because that part of the park we hadn't gone to until the end of the night, and that's where a lot of the cool Halloween stuff was happening. There was fog and cool lights and stuff. I wish we'd spent more time there, to be fair.
Yeah. Yes, we could have gone to more places in some ways.
Yeah, it's fine, but I guess I realized at Disneyland, I remember it being similar, where a lot of the cool stuff was on Main Street for Halloween or there.
Yeah.
At New Orleans Square.
Makes sense.
And at Liberty Square, it felt like it was also similar, and we didn't spend enough time there.
No.
But
I think that at this point we had the Dole Whip, but
maybe.
Yeah.
It could have been. Anyway, yeah. From there, we watched part of the Hocus Pocus show, and then we were like, we're tired.
Yes. We started the Hocus Pocus show, and it was fine.
Yeah. It's cute. I think if I had more energy, I would have liked to have seen it. But we were kind of far away anyway, where it was just
yeah,
I'd rather sleep.
Yeah, that's the problem with. I said that I wanted more of a character in stage, but when it's just dancers in stage and you're pretty far away, and there's no way to project them bigger or something, it just doesn't have the energy, It's difficult to. I think that they at least should do something with a bit of fireworks or something behind them, or to make it a little bit more. Because it did feel like, oh, they're just dancing there. That's cute. They're dancing there.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, but maybe when the show gets further,
it's just a little bit like, look at these cosplayers on stage.
Kind of, yes. Look at the gays on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, they're twirling. Anyway, I'm gonna get cancelled. But yeah, we decided if we don't leave now, it's gonna be very crowded when we leave. So
yeah, so we took that opportunity to hike out of there.
Yeah, and that was it. It's good.
Yeah, it was a nice night. I think that I had a very wonderful time.
It was cool.
In retrospect, I remember at the time, it feeling like Hollywood Studios was my favorite day, but I think in retrospect, Magic Kingdom was my favorite day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I think... No, I think that the thing is that I had such a terrible time with the weather.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Not my favorite day.
We have some unfinished business at Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, so those are the two that we didn't really get to run on everything else. The other two, I think we saw pretty much everything.
What did we have to...
Huh?
What did we miss?
At Magic Kingdom?
No, yeah. At both.
Animal Kingdom, we didn't get on the Navi River journey.
Right, yes.
At Magic Kingdom, we didn't get on Ariel, which I found you wanted to see maybe.
I just saw some images of it, and it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, Big Thunder, It's a Small World if we wanted to.
Yeah, no. We could have gone into It's a Small World, but it's a big world,
Yeah.
So I just don't agree with the philosophy of that.
So stupid. And probably at least one or two more things I can't think of. I'm sure Dumbo, but we're not going to get on Dumbo.
No, you Dumbo.
We have Dumbo at home.
Yes.
But overall, yeah, I think Magic Kingdom, any kind of Disneyland style park, is always a great time.
For sure.
And I think Disneyland is a better version of that overall. But I did find in this trip what works in Magic Kingdom, which is a lot of the scale and the appreciation or the dedication to design space
Yeah.
and theme.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that stuff is really well done, and I have a much better appreciation for Magic Kingdom than I used to, which back in the day is Disneyland, but less stuff.
It's interesting because I feel like internationally, Disney World is the place.
It is, yeah. I
Disneyland
think it's
does
marketed.
not.
It's marketed that way, and
Yeah.
it's also closer to like most of travelers, like from Europe and stuff.
Sure.
It'd be easier to get to Disney World for
Yeah,
work.
but I don't think anyone thinks about that.
No, but I mean, I think it's marketed that way, but it's also closer, so
Yeah.
it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I do, and like it's also more of a vacation spot. So like I think as a resort, Disney World just makes more sense as well.
Yeah.
There's more to do overall, and more varied stuff, and it's done very well. But
Yeah.
if you want like the castle park experience, I think Disneyland is better at that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought it was good. And we missed a few things. I would have wanted to see things in Tomorrowland as well more.
Mm-hmm.
Some more things were interesting to me.
Yeah. Also,
Um,
I would love to go back and see and like maybe dive in a bit more.
well, now that we have the Bright Line, maybe we can do that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
Disney World, we did it.
I was so busted. I was so busted by the end of it.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if we'll do another one of these.
Yeah, we can. I think we can do maybe a bit. I guess
Rating the
specialized-
parks.
Yeah,
Rating the parks.
I think we can maybe do a deeper dive into our.
Which is the worst park in Disney World?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. To